Sam Bennett the bad guy? Duh. He certainly is.
Nice reference.
Thank you.
Get it.
I will say, when it comes to the commentary going into that game, I don't have a problem with Bennett not getting penalized at real time, real speed. The officials missed it. Everybody missed it. Did you see that in real time? That Marchand got clocked in the face? Nobody did. No one. Internet sleuths, like apparently Colby Armstrong, went back through after the game, and they were able to piece it together, and that's fine. Never mind when we got the reverse angle going into Game 4 last night, which is weird how that came out.
It's weird because
before the game.
You usually get that when you're reviewing Rule 69.
Right, you would think. You usually get the first angle and the reverse angle. That's true. And so I just think Bennett should have been suspended for that game. Do you agree with that, Mego? I know Arkan does. Do you agree he should have been suspended for Game 4?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't really get how the footage comes out for the pregame show and it wasn't available, these alternate angles, 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours before, and that there should have been action taken there. Because he goes on, we'll play it, him defending himself. Like, it doesn't matter. Really, to me, it doesn't completely matter the intent or anything. We're not putting you on trial. But you knocked a guy out. You knocked a guy out.
And there was intent. Like, I do believe there was intent. But now I get what you're saying. We're trying to get in somebody's head.
Who cares? You can't prove if he has intent or not unless he's texting somebody, I'm going to knock Marchand out when I get back on the ice.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not saying that. But the fact is it happened, and it was dangerous, and so you shouldn't be back on the ice in that game.
And the NHL is all about head injuries now and, scrutinizing. They said they're going to scrutinize the series extra and things like that, and that's ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's a clear-cut, easy example, a layup, if you will, for a time when you suspend somebody for something like that, with a hit to the head, a punch to the face of a guy skating in, who, by the way, Marchand was skating over to go hit him. It's not like he wasn't. I mean, I think there was, something going on there, too. He was hitting people earlier on in that game, but he didn't punch anybody in the face in the middle of like a dead sprint to the boards and knock that person out of the game with a concussion. So, I mean, that should have been an easy one.
And you just said it. The league was going to have more scrutiny on it. So I think they missed that one. I think Bennett should have been suspended. I do want to point this out. Would Bruins fans say Marchand should have been suspended if he did that to somebody else? Like, it's reversed. Marchand does that to Sam Bennett. Would Bruins fans say he should be suspended for Game 4 and it's nonsense that he's out there? My sense is no. I love Marchand. I would say that. My sense is a lot of fans wouldn't. You're leaning in, Ryan?
No, I don't think it matters. Like, past track record should not factor into something like what Sam Bennett did. Take the number out, take the jersey out. One guy sucker punched another guy in the face. The guy that sucker punched the other guy in the face should be suspended, regardless if it's your first game or your 100th
history
game.
too.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. Usually in these cases, you would take the history into account,
I'm saying,
and he has a history, so it's further reason to me that he should.
Let me rephrase with Marchand. If it's a Bruin who did that, we'd all be saying he should have been suspended for Game 4.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
if he got suspended, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I feel that way.
If Jake DeBrusk did that to someone, you should absolutely lose a game for that.
Yeah, fine. Brandon Carlo picked the Bruin. It doesn't have to be a guy with a track record, to your point. Somebody does that. Although when you have a track record, it's more difficult to give a player the benefit of the doubt, which is where I do think Bennett's track record, and more specifically Marchand's, hypothetically, would come into play. That doesn't mean Marchand deserves what he got or anything.
If Draymond Green did that to a guy, you'd probably never see him again.
Okay, so this is the point. So I just, Bruins fans, just ask yourself truthfully, get in the trust tree, would you really be calling for someone to be suspended on the Bruins for that kind of play?
I'm thinking about somebody's just driving their truck right now going, no,
I mean, I don't think a lot of you would. I would. I don't think a lot of you would. But I'm consistent. Bennett should have been suspended. He shouldn't have been out there. I still don't think that's why the Bruins are getting run out of the rink, because of the refs. But go ahead and blame him if you want. A lot of you are, Arkan included. It's up now at Jones and Mego. At last check, it was like 80-20. I'm actually mostly happy with the fan base today that are saying, yeah, no, it's not about the refs. Florida's just better. Almost 80%, 79.5.
You guys lost a half a percentage.
Say Florida's better. We have lost a half percentage over the course of the show, Mego.
The Arkan difference.
20.5%. Well, we'll call it 21%. Say it's the officiating. That's where Arkan's at. You guys can weigh in. Meanwhile, here is Sam Bennett after the game last night, and this is just funny to me that he can't even keep track all of his issues that he's had over the last couple of games. I think when you hear it here, he's asked by Biz, when you hear it, I think he's being asked about getting away with the cross-check to the back of Charlie Coyle, should have been goalie interference. All of us feel that way. And instead, he's like, oh, what are we asking me about? He goes to the Marchand hit.
Bennett the Menace, it's been quite the 48 hours for you. One, do you think you got away with one? And what is it like being public enemy number one in Boston?
Yeah, I mean, it's I got a little taste of it last year in Toronto, and I guess I'm getting kind of used to it. Yeah, I mean, on that play, obviously, I'm not trying to punch him in the head, like everyone's saying. Other people can have different opinions. I'm just bracing myself for him coming to hit me. There's no way I would have had time to think about punching him in the head. But people can see it however they want. It's playoff hockey. There's gonna be hard plays. Obviously, it's unfortunate he got hit, but that's just a hockey play in my mind.
Okay, hockey play. So I don't think anybody agrees with that. And
I like how he's like, I wouldn't have time to think about punching. Like, how much time do you need to think about it?
Don't need much.
You sat on your butt for the first two games. You had nothing but time to
do
think
it.
About stuff.
Do it in real time. It looked like he made a decision in real time. I don't think it's premeditated. He probably got a hit on Marchand, thought he could get away with it. And if you see his reaction immediately after the shot,
he did get away with it.
Well, he did, and he looks guilty though. Like right after the hit, he looks guilty. Like, ooh, did anybody see that? Did anybody catch that? Am I going to get away with this? But that's my interpretation. Perhaps you have a different one. 617-779-7937. We had a caller earlier say, you're down 3-1. Series feels like it's teetering at best, over at worst already. What are they going to do to Bennett? Why didn't they respond to Bennett in Game 4 last night? Maroon was trying to fight the whole Florida Panthers team, and Bennett declined and said, I don't want to throw punches out there. I can't hurt my hand, which he's coming back from a hand injury. You don't give him the option. Bennett didn't give Marchand the option. And so I would like to see that sort of response from the Bruins. And that doesn't mean you need to take a guy out, but something more physical than just, hey, let's go. Are you going to go? Let's go. Something more than just trying to challenge them to a fight, because they're not that stupid. They're not going to take. The Bruins are dumb enough to get roped into that by Florida. Florida's not that stupid.
Yeah, I think that, they didn't succeed at this, but the Bruins were trying to toe the line where they're not trying to give that power play back to Florida so much because it was such a disaster in the game previously. But it kind of, in doing that and showing the restraint, and Monty said after the game that the team basically looked at each other after the blown call, no call, and said, all right, on to the next thing. And the next thing ended up being another goal against them. But I think that they were trying to show restraint, but in some way the momentum had turned, the tide had turned so powerfully against them. I said this before, they were just treading water.